Hi there, this is my first video of the tutorial. I'll be showing you what I'll be doing for my major project, how I'll be making it, and yeah, how I'm making the patch and creating it. The idea of this product is to have a plugin which is a built-in effects for a singer, so you can have vocals, etc., and hopefully track members on stage as they play and self-pan. Alright, this will be the first tutorial that I'm doing. This will just be showing you how I make the patch that actually tracks where the Wii remote is and how the different axes work. Alright, I'm going to be using Bluetooth for to connect the Wii remote. First thing you need to make sure is that your Bluetooth is discoverable, otherwise the Wii remote won't be able to find it. Second thing you need to make sure is open Bluetooth preferences there, and as you noticed there, previously I've used the Nintendo remote, Wii remote to do this before, so you need to make sure that that's out of there and disconnected. So just going to remove that so that it actually works. Alright, quick system preferences. The two main programs I'm going to be using are Darwin Remote OSC and PD Extended. You need to make sure it's OSC so that all the different programs can talk to each other. Alright, now your Bluetooth's turned on and discoverable, open up Darwin. First thing you need to remember is that number there that I've just highlighted, 5600. This is the OSC number that Darwin is going to be dumping all of the Wii remote information, and we will need that later. First thing you do here is simply find remote, and it says here press button 1 and 2 simultaneously. So simply press that, give it a couple of seconds to work. As you can see, it doesn't work every time. Just simply find it again, press 1 and 2 again, and there we go, it's working. And as you can see up here in your little screen here, it has all the different parameters that the Wii remote is moving. You got your Y, your X, and your Z axis. What I'm going to do here is change this to 2 so that it fills up the screen nicely and you can see what's going on. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is now open PD. PD is what I'm going to be making the patch in. So file new, pull that into center, make sure that everything's nicely laid out so that you're not fumbling about, not knowing what's going on. Alright, cool. To make PD work, you need to put in different options. I generally use the shortcut, so if something just appears, I've used the shortcut. The main ones I'll be using are object, which on Mac is Command and 1, and number, which is Command and 3. So if you see something just pop up, I've used one of the shortcuts. Whilst I'm here, I may as well just press object. First thing you need to do is remember, before I said that to remember that number, that is where Wii remote is dumping all the information. So you type in dump OSC, which is telling it that it's from a different program. Type in where it's dumping it, click off, and that is telling PD where to look. Right, next thing we're going to do is tell it what it is. So we're going to tell it to route to a Wii remote. Make sure that everything's in lower caps. To connect stuff up, you have that little circle there in PD. So now you have a little line there, hover over it, and X will appear to disconnect it. But we want that connected anyway. So circle to connect it all up. Alright, we now need to find out what our X, Y, and Z axis are. And so we're going to stick in another command, which is telling it to unpack the 3 values. There's space in between your 3 zeros and unpack. Connect that up. It'll work. There we go. Yeah, so now we've unpacked all the numbers, we need to actually see what they are. So up here we got numbers, which shortcut is Command and 3 on max. May as well just put the first one in. There we go, come straight up with the numbers. Need 3 of them for our 3 different axes. There we go. Make it nice and neat. Alright, for the 3 axis, to make sure it's all still nice and neat, we're now going to remind ourselves what they are by putting a comment in under each one. So that is our X axis. So to remind us, just put a little X underneath it. And that's our Y axis. Just put a little Y underneath it. And finally, Z axis. Just put a little Z underneath it. Today we'll mainly be focusing on the Y axis, which is this little axis here. For obvious reasons, this is going to be focused on a vocalist, so it's going to stay mainly in that position, and it's going to be lifted as much as you want or as little as you want. Alright, so that's the Y axis. So what you do is you get your remote, put it in a comfortable singing position, pretend it's a microphone, with your infrared facing you. Mine is about 215, 214, so what I'm going to do is put in a object, telling it to take away 200 and I'll say, well, where is it? It's about 16. 216. You need to make sure that you have a gap between the minus and 216, otherwise it won't work. Just to make sure it's working, put a number in there to check that it is 0. Hold on, it connects up. 3rd time lucky. Whee. There we go, you can see it's going from about 0 to about 80. That's when I lift it right up so that it's like I'm looking at the remote, but it's upside down. So we've done that. We now need to, in order for our effects to work, we need to make the number go from, instead 0 to 80, from 0 to 1. So quite simply, stick in another command which divides by, our top is 80, we'll call it 80. Let's divide by 80. Remember to put the space in. Connect that up. Stick another number in to make sure that it's working. If you notice, that goes from round about 0 to round about 1, which means that it's doing what we want it to. To make sure that it is working properly, what we're wanting to do is wanting a more visual aid. So we're going to put in here a vertical slider, not virtual slider. Stick that in the bottom. When we connect that up, if you notice, it is moving but not much, which is because if we go on properties of that slider, it opens up. There we go. The top range is 127, sorry, which we don't want. We want it going from 0 to 1. So if we change that to 1, apply OK. Now if you notice, as I move the Wii remote up and down, it slides up and down to its full amount. Alright, So now we've unpacked Y completely. Do the same for X and the same for Z, and in the next video I'll show you how to add an effect onto one of these. Alright, cheers, see you later.